We are once again low ELO game review. So this game I played pretty well. Unfortunately, I spoke to Mama Llama afterward, and they had an issue, which is why this game is so short, and I did so well. And so we will be probably seeing Mama Llama again. But as far as this game goes, I start out with what are we playing as white? The Stone Wall. And here, you just get told every time they come here, you go there. And so that's what I'm doing. It wants me to come all the way up. That's interesting. Not what you would have played, because you're not bad. So this move right here, now I do know where it's going because I got in trouble with it. I don't hate it. It actually protects this knight, so you can't just assassinate this knight to stop it from being tricky. I develop my bishop. The computer obviously always wants me to develop my knight. It comes here, so this is protected by that, which I think is a pretty tricky move. And then they move their light squared bishop to attack my queen. And that's kind of where it gets tricky because you can't quite move this pin the way you usually do, which is on one you reroute and then you can kind of just assassinate the knight because all my stuff's on dark squares. So my dark squared bishop is not the best piece. You do the normal move coming up here. Now this is an interesting idea because that knight usually can come here, here, and protect all this stuff, and then it becomes just a big quagmire of annoyingness. They pull their queen out. Again, not sure. It's a good square. Anytime the queen moves, you got to start thinking. I go ahead and castle. I don't think this is the best castle I've ever done, just because there's a lot of threats kind of looking my way. On this side, and I don't necessarily have the defenses that I'd like. Now, granted, their king side is not super developed either, so it kind of is what it is. They castle opposite sides, so now I'm looking at the fact that their pawns can start being shot forward. In fact, that's what I do on the other side to try and get an early pawn storm going. As well, so to be perfectly honest, I made a boo-boo, and maybe the idea was to come here and then go there, except my dark squares are completely unusable right now. But for some reason, I thought here would attack this. So I definitely made that issue when I made this move. But also now I can start pawn storming and try and use my rook on that line. So they come here. Again, I don't hate it. This is an undefended pawn at this point, so it does just kind of give away a free pawn. But I decide that I want to kick. And you know what's funny is, like, in some this is the perfect move, and some it's an inaccuracy, and some it's a mistake, and that's something I'm working on to learn, like, when is the best time, and it's probably when you don't have a free pawn to capture. Anyway, they don't do this, and I think I was starting to get nervous about taking this bishop just because it opens up this file to an eventual rook invasion, and that wouldn't be fun. But I do take anyway because it's a bishop for a pawn, and this is something as of right now I can defend. There's no crazy threats at this exact time. And then now the idea is, and maybe I should have did this before, is to come up here and fork these two pieces. That's that idea. I decided I wanted the free bishop first. They come down, so I don't get my fork, but I do see that I can just take, and then it's not going anywhere. So it takes me, I take, and we're happy, except there's a checkmate. So this is not a good plan. Luckily, I do see that, though. They take, and up until this point, I am planning on taking it. And I think maybe I just started blunder checking, or I can't remember exactly why. It's also because this knight here just always makes me nervous. Um, like I had this piece, and I'm inching it up in slow motion, and then for some reason I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh. So instead, I decide to take with the queen and check. And now I get the knight and I get the bishop. There's not a lot, if anything, that can be done to save that bishop. Save this, in which I just go in for a queen trade. Even then, if you came here, I could still take the bishop. So it's just not a great time to be a dark square bishop. I go ahead and take it just because I want the piece. I want to be up material. Plan here was, come in here and start causing goofiness. Mama Llama, if you watch this, the best move to defend is right here, and that is what I was afraid of you doing, because outside of this pawn, everything gets protected. The rook protects the rook protects the pawn, the knight is protected by this pawn right here. So at most, and then this pawn is protected by the queen. So this is all one big, my queen's just going to sit here for a minute or I'm going to leave. But the problem with that is I've tied up all your major pieces with my queen, and I can kind of come over here and start doing stuff over here. Now, what exactly would I be doing? I'm not sure, because you are holding up most of the light squares, so my bishop doesn't feel like it can do anything. Maybe if I come over here, but then again, it's not really doing a lot. So I'd probably have started pawn storming, or trying to get my knight out. They move this pawn. I'm not sure you already have such a command over the dark square or the light squares over here. I mean, it is smart because my bishop is just useless. But at the same time, maybe takes, and now I've got avenues to go down. Now, whenever I try these weird pawn moves to open stuff up, it's always an inaccuracy. So would I do that? I don't know. I go ahead and take the bishop, the rook, because it was free. And now I'm looking to, I think I was going to start coming back or whatever. Not going to take here because that's defended. Can't take here because that's defended. So maybe here and back. Try and win some more material. At this point, unfortunately, this is kind of a blunder. They don't realize that they're staring down the barrel at a bishop. So I take the bishop. And at this point is their resignation. This is not an uncommon place to resign anyway, even if, like they said, their kids were waking up and, they were having to, sometimes you just gotta kind of cut out. I've had to do it for sure a few times when I start a chess game and, a kiddo wakes up or I gotta do something or another that is unanticipated. So yeah, it was a really good game. This Mama Llama, we'll probably be seeing her more, but they are tricky player. I do feel like if they played as much as I did, they would for sure probably be a higher ELO, even with me like buying books and doing all the beginner stuff that they tell you not to do.